welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Let's just find out a little bit about you. Where were you brought up?
Yeah, so I'm originally American, right? My mother was English, my father was American. I grew up in just outside of Chicago till I was about 11 years old. And then we all moved to England. So I moved to Luton, lovely Luton. Doesn't get better than that. And I was in Luton for the majority of my kickboxing career. I was training there. I was living there from the age of 11 till about 27. And then, in a true pessimistic style, I kind of started to believe that the Western world was on the decline as a whole. Not just England, but Germany, France, America, England. I just felt like they were declining and other parts of the world were on the ascent. And I thought, it's better for me to be somewhere which is on its way up than on its way down. That's a better use of my money. It's a better use of my time. So I moved to Slovakia originally, which is a very nice place. But then it's a bit small, so I've ended up here in Romania. So I live in Romania now. I'm 0% Romanian. I have nothing to do with Romania. I've just kind of rocked up. So I've been here for about 4 years. But I do believe that every single man of value has built his value. I think that women can be born with value. Women reproduce, right? And if you're born pretty, you're automatically valuable. You don't have to do very much. You just need to get pregnant at some point. Every man wants you because you're hot anyway. And your life is already good. But as a man, to be a valuable man, you need to have intellect, wit, intelligence, money, strength, all these things. And these things are only respectable if you've built them yourself, right? So I think that the best thing that can happen to a man is to grow up in a place kind of like Luton or grow up in some of the rougher parts of England. Because if you're born with a silver spoon in your mouth, you're never going to truly be happy and you're never truly going to be respected by the outside world. Like, I know people, since I got rich, and I say that humbly, but since I've become rich, I've met a lot of rich people who were born rich. And there's nothing about them. They have no grit as an individual. They have no resistance to the outside world. They're depressed or stressed because of minor crap. Like, they don't. I'm from Luton, right? So and now I'm a millionaire, and now you're gonna come at me with a problem. Whatever. But these people literally can't handle the world, and they don't appreciate money. They don't appreciate their lives. I think the best life someone can have is starting relatively low down and working your way up, because it's only the progression of life which is interesting, right? It's not the end goal; it's the progression. So I'm glad I was raised in Luton. I recently bought a very expensive car. Too expensive. I'm an idiot. I bought a Bugatti, and when I was at the Bugatti dinner, everyone else there was either daddy's money or oil money, right? And they had no respect for anything. Like to me, it was a massive deal. Because they'd never ever been poor, they had no respect for it. So it's kind of like you can be a working class man and sit down with a cup of tea at the end of the day, and you'll enjoy that cup of tea more than this oil billionaire will enjoy his $5 million car. Because they have no respect for anything. So if you don't respect something, you can't value anything. If you don't value anything, you can't be happy. It's kind of like if you're in a car traveling at 100 miles an hour, it doesn't feel fast, right? But when you're accelerating to 100, it feels fast. That's how life works. It's not about being in a particular place. It's about getting there. That's the only part that's fun. Being there is whatever. So if you're born with it, then I think life can be kind of sad. So yeah, I'm super happy I grew up broke in Luton on free school dinners. I'm super happy for that. And I'm not happy now that I have money. I'm happy that I've worked really, really hard, like you said, and achieved goals, whatever, whether they're kickboxing or financial or whatever. That's all life's about. That's all life's really about. But from the very beginning, I'm talking about from the age of 13, 14, I understood, or I believed, that school was bullshit and would not make me rich. I remember saying to my teacher, I was in Luton, right? And there was these two Asian lads, and they had a Lamborghini. And I was at the BP, the petrol station at night, and they were in the Lambo, and I was in my friend's Corsa. We were in a normal car. And I said to my friend, when you look at them in their Lamborghini, do you think he studied hard in school, or do you think he's a drug dealer? And my friend said, drug dealer. I was like, doesn't this prove to everyone that nobody believes you get rich from school? Nobody believes it. I said this to my teacher. He's like, no, but if you go to college and you go to university. I was like, whoa, I'm going to be 20 what, 25? What? No, I want money now. I don't have time for this junk. So I never really tried. I passed every grade with C's and B's. I could have got A stars easily, but I didn't believe in the whole system. And even now, to this day, I don't believe in the system. I'm very anti-government. I'm very anti-bank. I do not believe any of the things we're told or taught in school are useful. I don't believe any of the stuff on the news they teach are specifically designed to put you in a state of mind where you just obey and comply. This is what I believe school is for. It's to train worker ants. And I didn't want to be a worker ant. So my teacher would always sit there and go, Andrew, you're the biggest waste of potential I've ever seen, because you could be so smart, but you just don't listen. Well, I'm smarter than you now. When I finished school, I did go into a family business. My uncle had a fishmonger's, and I used to carry boxes of ice and boxes of fish from 7 a.m. till 5 p.m. for 40 quid a day in the cold, heavy boxes of fish. That was it. And I wanted to be a kickboxer, right? Because I started to fight. I started to train to fight. But truly, I've always had the mentality that I just want money. I just want money. I don't believe in the idea that you need to be passionate about something to become rich from it. Do you think the billionaires who sell concrete are passionate about concrete? No, they like money, right? So if you're passionate about money, then you can be passionate about anything that makes a profit. So even from a very young age, I wanted money. I don't know where I got this streak. It's the competitive element in me, right? I think it's for the same reason I love to fight. But I remember I went to college, I finished school, I went to college, I didn't go to university, but I remember walking to college and a guy drove past me in a Ferrari. And I said to my friend, look at that Ferrari. And he goes, yeah, nice car. And I said to him, doesn't that bother you? And he's like, why would it bother me? I was like, because this guy, he knows something about the world that we don't know. Like the idea of us saving $400,000 or whatever for this car is insane. What does he know that we don't know? There's a hack in the matrix. There's a glitch. Something's happening and we're missing out. And he called me crazy. But even back then, I was just annoyed at the fact. I was like, well, no, I want things and I want freedom, right? I think that's what a lot of it comes down to, is I wanted freedom. So I was always obsessed with trying to find a way to make money. And I very foolishly believed that fighting would make me money. But you and I both know that's the hardest career in the world to try and get a payday from. So, yeah, I was carrying fish boxes and fighting at the beginning. That's kind of how it started. So the only part of the story that's not been said yet is that my father is a chess master. My father was a chess grandmaster. So when I was in America, I was very, very heavily into chess. So I was state chess champion age 6, and I was training on my way to become a grandmaster. I would have been a grandmaster by the time I was 12 if I continued training with chess. And so I was doing competitions every weekend. I was always competing. And chess is a game in which there is no luck. It's one-on-one, and it's very brutal. It's a brutal game. So when I moved to England, my chess career kind of ended because my father was most of the time still in America, coming back and forth. I didn't have a coach anymore. Also, chess is not very big in England like it is in America. In America, chess is all the schools and stuff, and I was getting scholarships from chess. There's none of that in England. So all the chess ended. So I was looking for something else, which is one-on-one, which is brutal, which is there's no luck involved. And most sports aren't like that, right? You can have a bad day on the soccer field, but your team can help you, or your team can save you. Whereas with chess and with fighting, there's not. So I was just trying to replicate chess, and I chose fighting. And a lot of people seem to think that's a big jump. Like, why would you go to fighting when you were a chess player? But to me, they were very, very similar. So that's kind of how it went. I was like, well, I can't play chess. Let me go learn how to fight. And I ended up in an MMA gym, and then I ended up sticking with kickboxing. And the worst thing about kickboxing is the big money is in tournaments, and tournaments is 3 or 4 fights in one night, kind of like prize fighter. So all the big money is 3 or 4 fights in one night. So the few times I got big paydays, let's say 100, 150,000, I had to have to win 3 fights in one night. And no matter how good you are, there's always a degree of luck to that, right? Because you might have the hard guy at the beginning, or at the beginning you might be fighting, and just by coincidence the guy throws loads of low kicks. So even though you win the fight, by the end of it your legs and your shins are completely annihilated. Now you can't move properly, you can't walk properly, you got 2 more fights to go. Like there's a bunch of luck involved in tournaments as well. And just the way kickboxing works is it's all tournaments. So there's been plenty of times I had to fight 2 or 3 times in one night to try and make money. But I was always trying to make money on the side. And when I retired, I took about a 4-year hiatus. I actually fought twice this year or last year. But I took a 4-year hiatus. And the reason I took a hiatus is I was like, look, I'm giving this 6 hours a day, 6 days a week of my energy. I'm tired of this now. I need to find a way to get rich. I want to be rich. I don't know why. I just thought I want more freedom. I'm tired of fucking struggling to pay the bills. And if I take these 6 hours a day I'm spending in the fight gym and put them towards something else, I think I can make some money. So that's kind of what I did, and it worked out okay in the end.